Aloha, Geek fans. Welcome back. It's time for another Geek spoiler review. And today we're reviewing Captain America Civil War. Remember, we're going to go into all the nitty-gritty details so that you've been warned. Captain America Civil War is a story of Captain America and Iron Man basically going against each other. At the beginning of the movie, these team members are fighting. They cause collateral damage, and the government steps in and says, hey, you got to slow your roll here. You need to get some oversight. Captain America's like, no, I do what I want. And Iron Man's like, well, I guess that makes sense, Seeing as I constantly screw things up, over and over again, selling weapons to terrorists, creating Ultron.
That dropped the city out of the sky.
Or dropped the city out of the sky. Going on the side of the Sokovia Accords in this movie where he again screws up. God, Iron Man, you have a bad record. But ego. Anyways, Jacob, let's just get right into it. What did you think of the movie?
I really liked this movie. It met my expectations, which were already really high at the beginning of the movie, and they didn't get lower. It was just there the entire time. So I really enjoyed, like you said, I really enjoyed seeing the characters in this movie, like Iron Man and Steve Rogers' decision in the movie, because they made sense. It made sense why he was choosing to go on the side of the government and why Captain America wants to be more independent. It made sense with them and all the other characters in the movie. It made sense why they wanted to go on either side.
I found it really funny about Tony Stark, where one of the reasons why it made so much sense is because he constantly screwed up in these movies where he's made really dumb decisions and he's just gone off on his own. And he's like, sometimes I got an ego and I'm not thinking too straight. Maybe I need someone to rein me in. Captain America, though, has made better decisions. And he's like, well, I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to stay away from this. And then the teams break down, right? Sometimes it's basically friendship. So Falcon joins Captain America, they're friends. War Machine joins Tony Stark because they're friends, right? You see that happening. Vision, he's created. He's kind of like, Tony Stark is kind of like his grandfather, father figure. So he joins with him. It makes a lot of sense why they break, why the teams form the way they do.
Yes, and I really like seeing all of the characters interact with each other too, because there's a lot of characters that we haven't seen interact before.
It was awesome.
Yeah, they did a really great job. One of those characters is Ant-Man interacting with everybody, because it was all great. It was all really great.
Ant-Man was geeking out. He was meeting his heroes. It was so awesome. He was shaking Captain America's hand. It was great. It was wonderful.
Yes, and I love seeing him fight all the other heroes too, because there's one shot where Hawkeye has him on an arrowhead, shoots him, and that's straight out of the comic books. I love seeing that in there. And let's talk about two new characters, Black Panther and Spider-Man, who were both awesome in this movie. I love seeing both of them. Black Panther had a lot more screen time than Spider-Man did, but when Spider-Man was on screen, he nailed it. I love seeing Tom Holland in this role. He was so good. He was really, really quippy, talkative, and he was honestly one of my favorite parts of the movie.
He nailed Spider-Man. Now, me personally, I'm not as big a fan of the Spider-Man character, so who I was really drawn to was Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Well, let me tell you, folks, if you don't already know, when I was a kid, I watched Thundercats. I played a Khajiit, which is like a walking cat thing in Bolivian for an over 100-hour campaign. Our mascot here is Puzzles the cat. So when they had Black Panther coming on, he had retractable claws like the cat, and he's doing the cat moves, but not over the top. Like I was like, is it gonna be too over the top like I'm a cat? No, it was subtle. I was geeking out all the time. Like, this is so badass. I loved him. I loved Black Panther. He was fantastic. I loved all the other characters. They did a great job with the characters. The only character I didn't like was Hawkeye, but I don't like Hawkeye in general. I don't think they could have really done anything. That's not their fault. Other people, I guess, like him for some reason. I'm not sure why.
They need to bring him back. But I like how they said he was retired at the beginning, but then he just came back.
He just came back.
Yeah.
He probably had the least explanation, and he's probably the smallest character, maybe I would say.
Yeah. He really is, because he kind of like came in like the middle of the movie. It's like, I'm here.
And then Vision kicked his ass, which was awesome.
Yeah, but I loved seeing him and Scarlet Witch fight. That was really good. So when she just like puts him into like basically the center of the earth. That was really good, I thought.
And their relationship, I thought, was well done, because they're clearly setting up for them to have a romantic relationship.
Yeah, because that's how it is in the comics. They get married in the comics, and I really like seeing that aspect too, because there was a very subtle hint in Age of Ultron when he rescues her from the city when it's falling down. But then continue with that. And I really like how he wears just like regular clothing inside when he's not being a superhero.
Yep. It's so funny how he looks, seeing him like with the cashmere, the sweater, the pants, the dress pants.
Yes.
He's very well dressed and polite.
Yes.
And their interactions were always, to me, believable. Like they sowed the seeds for a relationship that wasn't just shoved upon you. Like in Age of Ultron, when suddenly the Hulk is going out with Black Widow, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like if she had hooked up with Steve Rogers, Captain America, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. Yeah. But then I don't know why Josh Whedon went in that direction. I thought that was it was just dumb.
What I thought it was setting up for was for Black Widow and Hawkeye. But then guess what? Hawkeye has a family now.
Yep.
But anyways, they tried to do another relationship thing in this movie too, which it was kind of one of my negatives, but not really that much with Agent 13 and Captain America, because I really thought they underutilized her in this movie, but she didn't really need a big role.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the car on the way back, and I'm confused by the criticism. I didn't want to see her more of her. She served just a device to get some like information throughout the film. Like here's some documents, and then she served that one great scene where Steve Rogers kisses her, and then they show Black Panther and Bucky in the car.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
You're like, all right, brother, you got this. Total dude bro moment, and it was awesome.
For me, the only thing I didn't like about that was in some of the marketing, like for when they had that artwork they got released for each team, she was on Captain America's team. Like it seemed like she was going to fight in the movie, but she didn't. But
she fought in a few scenes.
Yeah, in a few scenes, but she wasn't there like in like for the rest of the movie. But
she was still on his team.
Yeah.
But she was believable. Unlike Hawkeye, who doesn't make any sense why he's there. She was like, you know what? I really shouldn't be there fighting when there's Iron Man and Vision. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But another thing I like about this movie was that it was grounded.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what the Russo brothers do so well, and what they did so well in Winter Soldier. They make it a human story. When there's all these crazy things going on and crazy people with superpowers, they make it believable.
Right, and they do that by that having a lot of loose ends that a lot of these comic book movies do. Where a lot of comic book movies, they shove all kinds of nonsense at you. They throw all kinds of technobabble and fake science and weird nonsense where it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. They don't do that. They bother to pay attention to the peripheral details. Like when there's government agents on the screen, they don't seem like caricatures. Like, all right, I can buy this. When they have the fight scenes, the fight choreography, you're like, wait, does this doesn't make really any sense? No, you believe it. It looks realistic. They've clearly done some research, to take care of like any loose ends that could distract you from your viewing experience. So you can suspend your disbelief for some elements where if you really thought about it, like I was thinking about the big fight, that big giant fight they had for 17 minutes at the airport. It was fantastic. But I noticed something after a repeat viewing of it. Vision is not in it very much.
Yeah.
And they kind of strategically keep him out of it.
Yeah. When in reality, he could take all of them out.
Right. Yeah. But I bought it because he was in there enough for me to believe it. Yeah. They showed a couple times he was really powerful, and then they gave even a reason why he wasn't as good as he usually was. For one, he wasn't going full on.
Yeah.
He could have killed Ant-Man by phasing into him probably. Yeah. Right? But he didn't do that, so he's holding back, and then Scarlet Witch was distracting him. So they gave plausible explanations, like all the time, why a character would do something. The motivations always made sense.
Yes. And one of the things that I like is they talk about why everything the Sokovia Accords were created, and because of the city falling out of the sky, because of
New York's destruction.
New York.
Because of the death of the Wakandans, when Scarlet Witch saves Captain America from Crossbones early in the movie, she inadvertently kills like a dozen Wakandans.
Yes. And this movie
she didn't mean to, but it happened.
Yeah, this movie did something really well that Batman v Superman didn't do so well, which was they focus on all these big events, and that kind of like followed throughout the entire movie.
Yes.
Where in Batman v Superman, they should have focused on Metropolis for the entire movie, but they just came with all this other stuff that didn't really make any sense.
I mean, they had the Metropolis thing, and then they moved to like the was it the White House or the Capitol building?
Yeah, the Capitol building.
Yeah, getting blown up, and they kind of drop that, and it's weird. And then they destroy a bunch of shit again. And it's like they just ignore it.
Yeah. But then in this movie they focus on the right things.
Yes.
And especially Sokovia, because the villain's motivation at the end of the movie, he talked about how his father and his family were like outside, thought they were safe, but they weren't. So I really liked his motivation in the movie too. But he was kind of one of the leads of the film, but not really, because they didn't really need a big bad in the movie.
Yeah, because they were themselves the protagonist, the antagonist. The members of the teams. And also, what I liked about that character is they had a theme in the film about family. Yeah. And sometimes, when bad things happen, because the Avengers didn't want Sokovia people to die. They didn't want collateral. They tried saving people, unlike Superman. They tried saving people. Yeah. When Scarlet Witch throws Captain America or Crossbones into that building and it causes destruction, immediately they're like, oh, let's get the medics here. Yeah. They tried doing things. When Hulk goes out of control, put the Hulkbuster armor on. We're trying. But sometimes people die, and then those people that get killed, their family or close friends, they're not thinking rationally. They're angry, like, what did you do? Why did you be more careful? And they had that theme continuously. And I loved how they tied it in with Bucky, who killed Tony Stark's parents. Yeah. They set it up in the beginning, but you don't know who he kills.
Yeah, and I loved how they also did that with Black Panther, because his father dies, then he goes after this guy, and then he sees his rationale, how he's been consumed by violence and vengeance.
Right.
And then he's like, I'm not gonna let it consume me now.
Yes.
Like, he
realized at the end the mistake he's made.
Yeah, I really like that, because I never really saw Black Panther as the real vigilante type like Batman, but he was kind of being that in this movie. But then at the end he changed. So
right.
I really like seeing that in this movie as well. So this movie had a ton of great things about it. Great characters, great character moments, great action. I love this movie.
I also love this movie. My few negatives are so nitpicky. Yeah. Like Hawkeye, I don't really care about, but that's not their fault. And then there's one scene I found a little bizarre, where Bucky breaks out of some facility after they capture him, and then Iron Man, Tony Stark, conveniently doesn't have his suit. Oh, I'm on a non-combat mission. I'm like, what? You always have your suit.
Yeah, but
and then
at the same time, he had that watch thing.
Yeah, the watch. Right, that hasn't. And then they fight, and it's a little odd how the Winter Soldier can't just take him out with other stuff.
Yeah.
These are so minor. These are really minor nitpicks.
Yeah. Because the main thing about this movie is they focused on the characters, and that was the most important thing.
And their action, they had more action scenes and longer action scenes than Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman was a longer movie. Yeah. And Batman v Superman had like the Batman Superman fight, the Batman fight scene, and like the big fight at the end. Yeah. This movie had the chase scene, it had the giant airport scene, it had the fight at the end. It had like the scene that I was just talking about, where Bucky breaks out. Yeah. I mean, it had more action scenes, and they even went on longer, and they were just so well choreographed and believable. Everyone used their powers. I love this film. Jacob, what would you score this out of whatever scoring system you use?
I'm going to score it out of 10. I'm really tempted to give this movie a 10 out of 10, and I think I might just do that. I think I might just give this movie a 10 out of 10. I'm going to see it again tonight, so I'm going to, just let that all digest for a while. But right now, this is my favorite Marvel movie. It's taken over Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy for me. So, yeah, 10 out of 10.
This is a fantastic film. I'm not sure yet if it's my favorite Marvel film, but it's at least my second. I have to have time to think, do I like it more than Winter Soldier? Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel film. This movie is amazing, though. It's a fantastic film. Minor nitpicks, but those are irrelevant. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Awesome film. You like comic books, you like good action, you like this crazy action, but put in a believable context. Mm-hmm. This is the movie for you. So Geeks of the Movie here recommends it. Highest score possible. This is the first time I think we've both given perfect scores.
Yeah.
Oh my, amazing. Stay tuned for more spoiler reviews from Geeks at the Movies. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you, guys.